looks like we are just moments away from action. 12-8, the Dalton School is leading Dwight Englewood here on what is a home game for Dwight Englewood. So the home team is down by a score of 12-8 as we get ready to start second half action here at Winton White Stadium. I don't think you can say Winton White Stadium without saying the beautiful Winton White Stadium, home of Dwight Morrow High School typically, but certainly a fine place for football. On a fine day for football, outstanding October afternoon here. If you missed the first half, a quick summary. First quarter was all Dalton School. They went straight down the field. They got bad field position on their opening drive, started on their own 10-yard line, but drove 90 yards down the field, overcame a couple of penalties on that drive, and the drive wound up with a short touchdown run by their leading rusher, Jordan Chambers. And we went into second quarter action with Dwight Englewood facing a 3rd and 8 from deep in, well, not so deep, actually from around midfield in this game. They started the second quarter. They weren't able to get the third down, so their outstanding kicker and punter, Martin Lecole, came on for the punt, and he put a beauty out at the 13-yard line, a laser beam. It was only in the air about 3.5 seconds, and in that time, that ball, from the time the ball left Lecole's foot to the time it went out of bounds, in that time, the Dalton School managed to get a personal foul of some sort. Never saw exactly where it happened or who it was on, but that personal foul, instead of starting on the 13, they started on their own 5. And again, they had poor field position inside the 15 on their first 3 drives, but that was their worst field position. And then on second down on that drive, they tried to get fancy. Coach Roy Samuelson called a reverse. The quarterback, Dream Henderson, went left. It looks like he was trying to pitch it to a receiver coming around the other side. And a host of players up the middle, I believe led by Oliver Oz, broke that play up. And they were in the end zone when they broke that play up. Dream Henderson went down. The ball came loose at some point, leading many of us to think that that was going to be a touchdown for the Dwight Englewood High Bulldogs, but instead the referees ruled that Henderson was down and that it was a safety. That made it 6-2. If you hadn't figured out, the extra point on the extra point was no good on Chambers' first score. That turned out to be a blocked extra point. And then after the Leo Kone kick, you had Dwight Englewood start on the 40-yard line, and they drove right down the field. And they scored on a 12-yard touchdown pass from Aaron Haskell to Jason Dargan. And that made it, after there was another penalty, offsides, on the extra points, which moved the ball half the distance to the goal line. So Englewood tried to go for 2, and they were not successful. And then a 65-yard touchdown run by the Dalton School made the score what you see now, 12-8, the Dalton School up, and they're set to receive the opening kickoff of the second half. And that ball is headed toward the touchdown, the 22, and it's taken up there. Looks like it's taken up there by Jordan Chambers. And he makes it out to, let's see. I think they're going to spot that ball at the 34-yard line. 1st and 10, the Dalton School. Momentum firmly on their side going into the halftime locker room, and they're going to try to keep the momentum going here in the second half of this one. Jordan Chambers, we don't have official statistics, but we feel very safe in saying that he had over 100 yards in that first half, including a 65-yard touchdown run. And the fake is to Chambers. The keep by Henderson. He fumbles the ball. Oliver Oz makes him fumble the ball. Henderson got the ball back, but he was cleaned up by Anthony George. A loss of, it appears, 4 yards, maybe 5 on that play. Again, it's been a problem for the Dalton School so far. Handoffs have not gone easily for them, and there was some shenanigans going on that handoff. Shenanigans is not the right word, but it was not done well or easily. That handoff they had trouble with it. It gave time for Englewood to get in there and make the play. Here's second down at 15. The give is to Chambers, and he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Oliver Oz again making a play. He's made 2 straight plays in this game. He's been outstanding so far. Got an onside kick recovery and a fumble recovery in this game. We're not exactly sure, but we believe he's the one who made the play in the end zone for the safety as well. So Oliver Oz playing, as they say, lights out so far in this one as we have a 3rd and 15. 10:51, we are just underway here in the second half between the Dalton School and Dwight Englewood. And they are throwing. And it's a complete pass to Henry Small. He's down. Is there a fumble? Referees are saying Henry Small was down at the 42-yard line. Now I've got to do my calculations. Henry Small had the longest catch. He had the longest catch for the Dalton School this year at 38 yards. That one doesn't quite go 38. That one goes 27. It's still a big gain on 3rd down. Dream Henderson making the play when it counted. Well-placed ball there to Henry Small, and that's going to be a 1st down. 1st and 10 for the Dalton School. The give is to Chambers straight up the middle. Good running room. And he gets down across the 35, down to about the 34. Consistently, when Chambers gets the ball, he is not being met at that line of scrimmage. Consistently, he's able to take a few steps before he has to worry about contact. Offensive line for the Dalton School doing yeoman work up front so far in this game. Leo Ricci, Jack Firestone, Bobby Francis, and the really big fellows on the left side, Leo Kone, Julian Liu, doing outstanding work for the Dalton School as they take it 2nd down and 2. Dream Henderson has it rolling right, throws to a wide open Xander Furman, but over his head. That ball not thrown exactly where it needed to be. Furman couldn't make the play, and that's going to set up a 3rd and 2. 12-8. The Dalton School leads Dwight Englewood here, 9:39 here in the 3rd quarter of this one. Clock is stopped on the incomplete pass. For some reason, they move the ball over to the left hash mark for this 3rd down play. Like a flock of seagulls, the Dalton School Tigers make their way over there for this 3rd down play, and the give is to Chambers. He's up the middle, and he's easily got the 1st down and a little bit more. Oliver Oz and a host of others join in there to get him down, but they don't get him down in time. That's a no-brainer 1st down. Down to the 24-yard line. 7-yard gain for Chambers, who just keeps motoring on. He's getting a great job up front from his offensive line. They're really doing work. Of course, you got the big 300-pounder Leo Kone there at left guard, but certainly don't want to leave his mates out. I mean, they're playing well, too. Here's the keeper, Henderson, around the right-hand side, and he's finally met. There's a flag down. Henderson met there by Will Tarzakin. We'll see what this flag is all about. We don't know yet, but it looks like I saw that the Dalton Tigers are moving backwards, but hold the phone. Let's find out what this penalty really is. Referees conferring. Legal hands. This looks like illegal use of hands. It's against the Tigers. And, boy, they have just really, really had a problem with penalties all day. 4 big penalties in the first half. That's another penalty for them here in the second half, and that moves them back. That was a 1st down play, so it'll be 1st down a little bit. It looks like it's a penalty from the spot of the foul. I remember Henderson was probably about a good 5 yards field, 5 or 6 yards upfield when that flag was flown, so now it'll be 1st down and 13. And that customary 4-receiver set to give the Chambers up the middle, and this time he's got a lot of company. One of the few times he's met as soon as he gets the ball. Will Tarzakin met him there first before his mates joined in to help him out with Jordan Chambers. That's one of the best plays that Dwight Englewood has had in defending Jordan Chambers so far today. They certainly had very early penetration on that. And we're able to make the play and get Jordan Chambers down here. 2nd down now. They're going to give him a gain of 3 on that play. So really, we've got 10 yards. It's 2nd down and 10. 8:08 left here in the third quarter. They give the Chambers up front once again. Chambers is met there very early. Josephotti got in there and got a hand on him. Oliver Oz finished him off. And that's for no gain. Well, they're certainly showing that they can really stop Jordan Chambers here, really for one of the first times all game. This is the best consistent work so far that Dwight Englewood has done against Chambers in this game. 3rd down and 10, 7:35 left here in the third quarter. Henderson has the ball, takes a step, throws, wide open, overthrew Xander Furman, had him. He had a step on Martin Lecole. Behind Martin Lecole was Robert Tong. Both of them were beaten, and Xander Furman not tall enough to go up and get that one, the ball over his head. And that's going to be 4th down. Now again, the Dalton school, they don't do field goals. That's not in their playbook. That's not in their repertoire. They're on the 20, they're just past the 30-yard line, so it looks like they're going for it here on 4th down and 10. Spread formation. Henderson grabs the ball, the fake, now he's throwing. Throws so wide open, and he overthrew Xander Furman once again 2 straight times. Henderson had Furman wide open, overthrew him 2 straight times. We'll see if that comes back to bite the Dalton school later on in this game, because those are 2 plays that at least should have been big plays on 3rd and 4th down and very well could have been touchdowns. Xander Furman wide open. Dream Henderson 2 times in a row, not able to hit him downfield. So the ball goes over on down. 7:22 left here in the third quarter. Dwight Englewood takes over on their own 29. Aaron Haskell takes the ball, gives to Aleem Harris on the left side, moving with urgency and gets down almost to the 34, not quite the 35-yard line. Boy, he sure does do that shot out of a cannon thing very well, does Aleem Davis. He gets the ball and wastes no time matriculating the ball up the field. 2nd down and 5, 12-8, the Tigers of the Dalton school leading the Bulldogs of Dwight Englewood. Here, 6:55 left here in the third quarter. 2nd down and 5. Here comes Aaron Haskell leading his troops up to the line. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Aleem in the slot. The gives to Dallas Devlin over the left side, and the Tigers were ready for that. Dallas Devlin taken down. Casey Schneider in there, giving up a lot of weight to Dallas Devlin, but not letting it affect him, taking him down, no problem. Dallas Devlin, no gain on that play. And Dallas Devlin hasn't really hurt the Tigers the way that you would anticipate that maybe he would. He definitely has such a size advantage on so many of the Tigers on that back 7, and yet really the Dalton school hasn't allowed Devlin to get to the back 7. The front line is really taking care of him most of the time. And penalties fly as Haskell gets the ball. That play is dead. Legal motion against Dwight Englewood. That's going to be 5 yards. And that's going to make their 3rd down a little bit harder. That will make it a 3rd down and 10. Levin and Lecole out to the right-hand side. 2 receivers on the left, including Aleem Davis. Empty backfield. Aaron Haskell grabs the ball, drops to throw, throws it out there, and it's intercepted. Pass is intercepted by Casey Schneider. Are they going to give it to him? They say yes. Casey Schneider's knee went down to the ground, so he doesn't get any return yardage, but Casey Schneider, the first-year football player, never played football before a day in his life, showing he's got this game. If not down, he's getting it down. He's certainly figuring out very quickly. The guy who's going to go to the wrestling team after this season is done comes up with his first interception of the year. And that's going to be Dalton Tigers ball, 1st and 10 on the Englewood. Dwight Englewood 36. Gives the Chambers straight up the middle. Got a little room. Does a spin move. Gets across the 30. Gets down to the 29-yard line. 5:40 here in the third quarter. 12-8. Tigers on top, and the Tigers driving. Going to be 2nd down and 4. Chambers chewing up yardage. It's like you got freshman Jasper Tabak in the game now. He's one of the few freshmen that actually sees major minutes for Dalton. He's out far to the left side as a wide receiver. The pass, and it's sack. A sack by Dallas Devlin. Are they going to call that a fumble? And that's going to be a fumble. Dream Henderson fumbles the ball, recovered by Anthony George. Again, Dallas Devlin on the sack. Dallas Devlin gets the sack, causes the fumble, and gives the ball right back to Dwight Englewood. So you had an interception by Casey Schneider in the third quarter. And it seemed like maybe the Dalton school is in business, but Dalton gives it right back when Dallas Devlin sacks Dream Henderson. He fumbles. Dwight Englewood ball. Split backfield. Aaron Haskell gets the ball. Now they've got a Wildcat formation. It's Jason Dargan in the Wildcat, and he goes right side. I don't know that he gained any yardage. He's tackled at the line of scrimmage. Coach Jim Panapinto said that they might do this, that they had a Wildcat package in for Jason Dargan. He's one of the fastest guys on the team. He's run this thing in the past, and it's a different look to show. Of course, Aaron Haskell, their normal player, certainly a different type of player. He can run, but certainly not the runner that Dargan is. Dargan has a touchdown pass in the touchdown catch in the first quarter from Haskell. Jordan Chambers, 2 touchdown runs for the Dalton school, 12-8. The Dalton Tigers ahead of Dwight Englewood here. 4:19 left here in the third quarter. You got a timeout for Dwight Englewood. First timeout of the half. So here at Winton White Stadium, they say let the music play as the two teams go to their respective sides to talk about things. Just very interesting about these two teams. Both of these teams have about 25 men per side. Actually, when you can take an injuries to account, they're probably dressing fewer than that today. Talking to both of these coaches, they say that really hinders the amount of live hitting they can do during the week. I mean, you can't really afford to get your players injured when you don't have much depth to begin with. So on the one hand, you would expect tackling to be a problem, but certainly the tackling's been pretty good here today. And 2nd and 11, Aaron, they're going to the Wildcat formation again. It looks like Dargan has it. Fakes, goes left now, pitches the ball to Aleem Davis, and there's nothing doing out there. For the second straight play, Dalton plays that very well. Henry Small in there on the play. Leo Kone in the area. That's going to be a loss of 4. So Wildcat so far has not borne fruit for, and we have to look here and see if Aaron Haskell is hurt. I'm looking on that sideline. I see someone on the ground. That looks like Ryan Levin getting worked on. It looks like he has a cramp. I don't see Aaron Levin. Aleem James. Thank you. Thank you. And it looks like Jason Dargan is going to take the ball. Aleem James moving back. And there's a give by someone. Dallas Devlin has it. He goes up the middle. Doesn't quite make it. First down yardage. In fact, not even close on 3rd down. And that's going to be 4th down. I'm still looking to find out what's happened to their quarterback. I don't see him on the field. And perhaps that's why they called timeout before. I don't know. I don't have inside information. But I do not see quarterback Aaron Haskell either on the field or on the sidelines. We'll have to figure out what's going on with that. But if that's the case, that would certainly change the game plan for Dwight Englewood, because certainly they don't look at Dargan as a passer. Now Martin Lecole is back there for the punt. Grabs the ball, and it's going to be another fake. Lecole looking to throw. Got plenty of room. You think he might want to run. Now he throws it sidearm, and it's way over the head of Aleem James. That play did not look good from the beginning, plus there's a flag on the play. Illegal man downfield is what they're calling. That penalty is going to be declined by the Dalton school. That's a pretty deep position to be trying a field fake punt. It does not turn out well for Dwight Englewood, and so the Dalton School is going to get very good field position. They're going to start on the Bulldogs' 37-yard line after a fake punt, and it's a call that you never want to guess. Absolutely don't want to second guess coaches, because I mean, you know, if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't work, then hey, whatever the opposite of genius is. But certainly it's a risk, and I'm sure Coach Panapinto knew the risk when he took it, and you know, sometimes when things are risky, they don't work out. 1st and 10 on the 37, good field position. Dream Henderson keeps the ball, gets through the first line of defense, and gets down before he's tackled there by Tong. He's also tackled there by Jeff Strauss, but he gets good yardage down to about the 32. We have just located Aaron Haskell, the quarterback. He has his pads off. He's wearing a gray shirt on the sidelines. His pads and his helmet are off, which cannot be a good sign. He must have been hurt at some point in this game. Doesn't look like he's planning on coming back, which would be a big, big deal for Dwight Englewood. Here on 2nd and 6. Dream Henderson rolling right, the pitch to Chambers. Makes a move inside, dash to the outside, got lots of room. Now he's still on his feet, out of bounds, just past the 20-yard line. Knocked out of bounds there by Jason Dargan, but not before big yardage for Jordan Chambers, who just continues to move that ball on down the field. And now we've got another injury, and this time it's to another one of the big names for Dwight Englewood. You've got Dallas Devlin down at about the 44-yard line. I saw him grasping the back of his leg. There was a 21-yard gain by Chambers on that last play, but certainly things have gone south in a hurry in the health department for Dwight Englewood. Devlin does not look happy. He threw his helmet off. People are out there working on him. Meanwhile, on the sidelines, we see Aaron Haskell, again, shoulder pads off, helmet off. He is throwing the football. He looks to be playing a little game of catch with Lachlan Charles, the freshman wide receiver defensive back. His right arm, his throwing arm, does not appear to be impaired in any way. And at that point, and again, I'm speculating. I don't have any inside information here, but it does not appear that he has as I say, he doesn't appear to have an extremity issue. Then he reaches for his arm. He reaches for his throwing shoulder. It appears he feels some tightness there in some way. So I don't want to speculate on what he has. He appears to be working out his right arm. He is rubbing his right shoulder right now as Devlin comes off the field, limping slightly, but under his own power. We'll see if he's able to come back later on in this game. So in the last couple of minutes, Dwight Englewood has lost two of their biggest, if arguably not their two biggest stars, in quarterback Aaron Haskell and nose tackle, linebacker, running back Dallas Devlin. We've got 1st and 10 as Jordan Chambers takes it to the right-hand side, headed for the end zone, and touchdown, 3rd touchdown of the day for Jordan Chambers. That one is from 18 yards out. Again, 3 touchdowns on this day for Jordan Chambers, having an outstanding day. His second 3-touchdown game of the season, and that makes it an 18-8 game. The Dalton Tigers take a commanding lead over the Dwight Englewood High Bulldogs. And this last 5 minutes has been quite disastrous for Dwight Englewood. They've lost a couple of key players to injury, and the Dalton School marched the ball right down the field and scored a touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. We got 1:29 left as Dalton lines up for the extra point. It's going to be Dream Henderson this time. He's 2 for 3 on the year, and he gets it up. And now he's 3 for 4 on extra points on the year. Dream Henderson kicks it through the uprights. And now it's 19-8. The Dalton School, 11 points better than Dwight Englewood High here with 1:29 left here in the 3rd quarter. And certainly it's 19-8. Dwight Englewood has got to be very, very concerned at this point with what they're seeing out there. We're going to continue to look on that sideline and see what the progress is with their starting quarterback, Aaron Haskell. Last we saw him, he was throwing with his shoulder pads and his helmet off. He's sitting on the bench right now next to Martin Lecole. Again, no shoulder pads, no helmet. Not looking like he's anywhere close to coming into this game. Now we'll take a look at Dallas Devlin and see if we can find him. They're 5'9", 229-pound battering ram of a tailback. And we do not see him on the sidelines. Is he on special teams? Do not see him on the field. Do not see Dallas Devlin on the sidelines either. So again, Dallas Devlin, Aaron Haskell, two of the bigger names for the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs. They appear to be impaired by some sort of injury situation. We have not had confirmation as to what that situation would be, but the bottom line for Dwight Englewood is those two players, Aaron Haskell, quarterback, Dallas Devlin, tailback, they are not in the game, and it's not looking good for their return as they have another onside kick by Leo Kone. This one bouncing around and goes out of bounds. That was one of his best onsides of the day. They've tried 3 of them. You had a player bearing down on that one for the Dalton Tigers, but he wasn't able to get there in time before the play went out of bounds at the 30, and of course that's a penalty, which means that the ball goes will get spotted at the 35-yard line. Dwight Englewood will get the ball and they'll get started, but their situation is such they don't have their quarterback. I see Ben Broner in there. Now I know he is listed as their 3rd-string quarterback. His brother, Zach Broner, he was the quarterback for Dwight Englewood last year, threw for 150 yards in last year's 32-6 win, Dwight Englewood's over the Dalton School. But he is not playing quarterback. You still have Jason Dargan in there. And you had flags flying before this play even gets going. Looks like there might have been a false start. I saw Matt Kaufman in there in the slot. I wonder if he was the one who flinched a bit. Matt Kaufman, a sophomore, getting some time in the slot. Hasn't been a player who plays a ton, but getting a little run time here. 4 receivers now. Jason Dargan in the shotgun, taking it, and he will throw. Looking now puts it down and runs immediately, got some room, and he's showing off his speed, cuts it upfield, gets it close to midfield at about the 49-yard line. I think we can expect a heavy dose of that going forward. Passing is not necessarily Jason Dargan's thing, but he certainly is one of the fastest players on this team. That's a 19-yard gain. Coach Jim Panapinto playing to Jason Dargan's strengths. Fast guy who can run the ball. Another spread formation, 4 receivers. Dargan in the shotgun, calling signals. Grabs the ball, he's throwing, he throws it in the middle, and that's intercepted. Intercepted by Jack Firestone, one of the Firestone twins, and that's going to go right back over to the Dalton School, and perhaps right there's the issue right there. Quarterback is not his natural position, Jason Dargan's, but they figure they have him there. They may as well have him try a pass or two. He tried a pass in the middle of the field, and he threw it in a lot of traffic, and that was an easy interception for Jack Firestone. Second interception of the day for the Dalton Tigers, and they take the ball over on their own 44-yard line, leading 19-8 with 55 seconds. A very fast-moving 3rd quarter so far. Dream Henderson gets the ball, gives it to Chambers, and he is met in the backfield. Oz touched him in the backfield, held him up, and then a host of others came and cleaned him up. But again, you take a look at one of the best defensive players on the day for Dwight Englewood. It's been Oliver Oz. Oliver Oz has made his presence known. You got 33 seconds left here on the play. Left here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 10 now. And the Dalton School taking their time getting out of the huddle. Not moving with quite the pace that Dwight Englewood has been moving in the first half. But whatever the Dalton School is doing, it's working. Dream Henderson going to pass. Throws to a wide open Xander Fulton. He's got it down to the 25. He breaks loose. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Xander Furman. Xander Furman goes in for the touchdown. And Dream Henderson making up for missing a wide open Xander Furman in the first half a couple of times. He hit him right there, right in stride. And then Xander Furman, he had plenty of players around him, but he extended the play. And by the time he made it to the end zone, the gap between him and the players was widening. So now we have a 25-8 game. The Dalton School opening up a big lead now over Dwight Englewood. Pending this extra point, Dream Henderson will take his second consecutive extra point. And it goes through. He's made 2 straight extra points, and now it is 26-8. A commanding lead now with 4 seconds left for the Dalton School. 4 seconds left here in the third quarter. The Dalton School have a huge lead over Dwight Englewood, and the lead is huger still when you consider that the starting quarterback for the Bulldogs is still on the sidelines with his helmet and his shoulder pads off, showing no inclination that he will be coming back into this game anytime soon, if at all. No official word, but again, he's not sitting or moving like a player who intends on playing again. We don't have any official word on what happened to Aaron Haskell, but certainly his loss, a huge loss for Dwight Englewood, perhaps a loss that they will not be able to recover from here as we have 4 seconds left here in the third quarter. The Dalton School all over Dwight Englewood, 26-8. Dalton School came into this game 2-2 on the season, whereas Dwight Englewood, they've been having a truly fantastic season so far. They were 4-1 coming off of this game. Both of these teams in their last game lost to Horace Mann by pretty similar scores. So they were both coming off losses, trying to get off the proverbial schneid, and so far the Dalton School is the one going off the schneid. A 4th onside kick for Leo Kone, and once again, for the 4th time, it doesn't work. Dwight Englewood has the ball as time runs out here in the third quarter. The Dalton School 26, Dwight Englewood 8, and in big trouble. Dwight Englewood missing their quarterback, missing the thunder portion of their thunder and lightning backfield. 12 minutes left here in the fourth quarter, and it's going to be a tall task for Dwight Englewood to recover from the losses both on the field and both the losses in their lineup to come back in the fourth quarter and win this one and run their record to 5-1 on this season. Right now, this game looks to be the Dalton Schools to lose. We were talking about these two teams. It's very interesting. I was talking to Coach Roy Samuelson before this one. It's interesting what Dalton has to go through. They have to travel 30 minutes each way every day to practice. And when they get to their practice field, they don't really have a field set up. They don't really tackle. They have a difficult practice situation, yet they're out here getting it done. 1st and 10 for Dwight Englewood as Jason Dargan maneuvers around the right-hand side, looking for running room, keeps it on the ground, and goes out of bounds. Looks like he's got first down yardage. I think they're going to mark him just short of the first down, but still, that running play with Jason Dargan back there, he's got plenty of speed to get around the edge, and it wouldn't be a shock if you didn't see him really put the ball up again today. And if he does, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I would be surprised if you saw him putting it up in the middle of the field in traffic. 2nd down and 1, 26-8. We are just underway here in the fourth quarter. The give is to Dallas Devlin up the middle, got some room, and gets all the way down to the 37-yard line. Finally tripped up there. Jack Firestone in on the tackle. As we have 11:44 left. 26-8, the Dalton School leading over Dwight Englewood. 2nd down, and that's a first down. It's going to be 1st down and 10. Again, Jason Dargan in at quarterback. If you're just joining us, Aaron Haskell, the starter, is out with an undisclosed injury. Jason Dargan, a runner, and he runs again and gets good yardage, very good yardage, up to about the 30. That's going to be 2nd down and short.
He's brought down at the 31-yard line.
Again, we'll see if Coach Jim Penapinto, after Jason Dargan tried to throw a pass on that last series and threw it right to Jack Firestone for the Dalton School Tigers. We'll see if we see Dargan throwing again. He's going to be more of a wildcat look from here. He gives the ball to Dallas Devlin up the middle. Got a bit of room before he runs into traffic. But it gets a good 5-yard gain down to the 25, and he's moving those sticks. That's going to be another first down. And this is a big win so far here for Dwight Englewood on this drive. It looks like they took a series to sort of figure out how they were going to proceed without their leader, Aaron Haskell, at quarterback. They have figured, it looks like they are playing to Jason Dargan's strengths. The replacement quarterback is going to be playing more so far of a wildcat look. He grabs the ball, goes left, slips down before he gets to the line of scrimmage, loses 1, maybe 2 on that play. But so far, Dwight Englewood has moved the ball straight down the field on this drive, making use of Jason Dargan's legs, making use of Dallas Devlin's power. Good to have Devlin in there for Dwight Englewood. He was momentarily nowhere to be seen. He looks like he had an injury situation earlier in the game, but he's certainly back in there as we have second down and 11 on the 26. Devlin taking it himself, and he goes down to a knee by accident right at the line of scrimmage, throws the ball down in disgust. And a lot of these play calls, it seems, for Jason Dargan, he gets the ball, and it looks like he has really carte blanche to go whichever way he sees fit. He takes a second there, looks left, looks right, whatever looks good, he goes that way. I'd be very interested to find out if even the linemen know which way he's going on those plays. As we have a third down and 11, Dargan, the Wildcat quarterback, lining up, and he will throw, and now he's going to run to the left side. Going to be met there by Jordan Chambers. Takes him down on a picture-perfect tackle, by the way. Shoulder in, head up, wraps, and gets him down. And that's going to be fourth down. 26-8 here at 9:06. Would not be a surprise to see Dwight Englewood go for it on this play. Time is running short for Dwight Englewood, and they've got a lot of ground to make up, so they've got an empty backfield. Jason Dargan back there on fourth down and 11. He grabs the ball, looking. He takes, now he spins to the right-hand side, looking. Now he pumps, and now he's going to keep it, put it down, cut back, and he's got some room. Oh! And he gets leveled by Casey Schneider. Casey Schneider came in and brought the wood. Got him to the 15-yard line. Now that is a first down for Jason Dargan. Fantastic effort on Jason Dargan's part. My apologies for screaming at you fans out there watching on NJ.ORG's YouTube Varsity channel. NJ.ORG Varsity's YouTube channel, but that was quite a hit by Casey Schneider. And certainly made Jason Dargan pay for getting the first down. But Dargan pops right back up, and he's in there on 1st and 10 now. Grabs the ball, gives the ball to Dallas Devlin. Got a little room, met there by Schneider. Boy, and Schneider, that was a very impressive tackle. Casey Schneider, for 2 straight plays, has really really tackled well. I mean, he met Dallas Devlin head on and got him to the ground. Casey Schneider, first-year player, never played the game of football before, but you know what he is? He's a wrestler. He certainly showed his wrestling acumen right there. As we've got an injury for Dwight Englewood. That looks to be Anthony George. Yes, Anthony George. He's the left tackle, and he's going to have to come to the sidelines. Let's see who replaces him. Can't quite make it up right now, but right now it's 2nd and 7, 26-8, 7:48 left. Dalton High School is beating Dwight Englewood, but they're on the march. And it's Jason Dargan again, trying to find room and not finding any, as Jordan Chambers, with a fine tackle, takes Jason Dargan down. And certainly the early read on Jason Dargan as a quarterback, as a Wildcat quarterback, he's got a little bit of the Barry Sanders thing going on. He starts to the right, but he's just as likely to come back to the left and make a quick move. So certainly, it pays for the Dalton Lions to stay home and not get too ahead of themselves. Here on third down, Dargan looking for somebody. Now he's under pressure, rolling out to his right. He throws in the end zone, and it's intercepted. We'll see if they call that interception.
Jason Dargan's pass
And it is incomplete, and probably that's best for the Dalton Tigers. They would have had the ball on the 1-yard line. As it is, it's going to be 4th and 8. So let me not speak too quickly that was a good thing for the Dalton, because certainly Dwight Englewood has one more play down deep in the Dalton side of the field to see if they can make something out of this. I think if the score were closer, this is certainly Martin-Lecole territory for a field goal, but with the score 26-8 with just under 7 minutes to play, they're going to go for it. They need touchdowns. They don't need field goals. So here we go, 4th down. 4th down and 8. Low snap. Jason Dargan rolling to his left, looking, throws into the end zone, way over, throws it to the back pylon. Nobody was there, and that's going to turn the ball over on downs to the Dalton School. Again, Jason Dargan giving a fine effort in there as a backup quarterback. More of a running player, and he's disgusted with himself in the sidelines. But, again, his forte is not passing. He's a runner. He's a great receiver, and he's more of a runner. And he did not have the accuracy on that 4th down play to complete that pass, and that ball goes over to the Dalton School. 26-8, 6:49. The Dalton School firmly in control of this one. They will have the ball starting 1st and 10 on their own 12. They've had bad field position inside their 15 for much of this one. Dream Henderson gives the ball to Chambers. Chambers cuts back and gets maybe a yard. Once again, tell me if you've heard this one before. Oliver Oz makes the tackle. No, that is not a repeat. Oliver Oz having a fantastic game on the defensive side of the ball for the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs. 2nd down and 9, 26-8. The Dalton School leading over Dwight Englewood. That clock is moving. 6:22 left and counting. And the Dalton School taking their sweet time getting to the line. No need to rush. Time is their friend. The give to Chambers once again up the middle. The middle was clogged, and he gets taken down by a sea of gold shirts. Still got positive yardage. It's going to be about a 2-yard gain, and we're looking at maybe 3. Maybe looking at, I think we're looking at 3rd and 6 on this play. 5:44 left. Dalton School trying to run out the clock on a 26-8 lead. And they come out, even trying to run down the clock, they still come out in their patented spread formation, except they've got 2 backs in the backfield now. Dream Henderson pitches the ball to Henry Small, and Small is taken down hard by Jeff Strauss. Nothing doing on that play. But Small does the smart thing and stays in bounds. No point in going out of bounds if you're the Dalton School at this point. Keep that clock rolling. 5:12 and counting. 26-8. The Dalton School leading. It'll be, I believe that's 4th down. Absolutely no gain. So we got a 4th down and 7. Small actually lost a yard. So you would think this would be a punting situation for the Dalton School. And again, they are lingering in that backfield. Now Leo Kone, the biggest punter you'll ever see, 300 pounds and then some, lining up for the punt. You got a timeout called by someone. Dwight Englewood takes their 2nd timeout of the half. They've got 1 remaining, and probably a smart timeout. There's no sense in letting that clock run down much more. I mean, they are right now down by 18 points. And you figure, I mean, they've got a good field goal kicker, so at the end of the day, but still, that's going to require at least 2 touchdowns, 1 2-point conversion, and then you can start thinking about a field goal if you were ever to get to that point. So it's at least a 3-score game at this point, at least. And so you've only got 4 minutes and 47 seconds to make up that time, and you're missing your starting quarterback, Aaron Haskell. So Dwight Englewood very smartly taking that timeout with 4:47 left here in the 4th quarter. Now the Dalton School will line up for the punt. Big Leo Kone had a good day punting the ball so far, although he hasn't had to punt much. And he gets the punt off here. A low one, gets a roll, gets almost past Dargan, but Dargan gets it at the 40, reverses field a couple times, and then it falls down. Henry Small was bearing down on him, and Dargan couldn't decide if he wanted to zig or zag and wound up corkscrewing himself into the ground at about the 45-yard line. But that only took good 10, 11 seconds off the clock. Really got to start watching that clock if you're the Dwight Englewood High School Bulldogs. I mean, seriously, the time, they do not have any time. Time is something they are about fresh out of here, down 26-8 here on NJ.ORG's Varsity, NJ.ORG Varsity's broadcast of Dwight Englewood High versus Dalton, the Dalton School. A Hudson Valley League matchup. Dalton leading 26-8. Time winding down here in the fourth quarter. The give is to Aleem James. My mistake. Aleem James gets the ball around the corner and takes it inside for a very short gain. 4:23 left in this one. As we've got the Bulldogs not going into hurry up. Excuse me. All right. Broadcaster's biggest fear, having a sneeze. All right, I got that one out. Now it's time to go. 4:04 left here, 2nd and 7. The snap, Jason Dargan throws a short one to Devlin, and it's over his head, incomplete. The only good thing to come out of that for Dwight Englewood is that the clock stops. 3:55 left now here in the fourth quarter. 3:55 and counting, 26-8. The Dalton School comfortably in front. Dwight Englewood has the football, but they don't have much time. They've got Luke Drobner coming in to play on the offensive line right now. He's usually the long snapper, but he's getting some time on the regular offense at this point. Jason Dargan taking the ball, and he looks to run, takes it around the left-hand side, gets a little room, but not enough. The ball came loose. I think you hear whistles. That probably is going to be called down, although look who was in on that play again, Casey Schneider. Casey Schneider's been playing good football. He was joined out there on the play by Joseph Fati. I'm sorry, I take that back. He was joined there by Bobby Francis. My mistake. He was joined there by Bobby Francis on the play. It's 4th down and 3, 3:26. The clock is rolling. Dwight Englewood has made it just up to the 47-yard line, trailing by 18 points. They've really got to hurry. Shotgun formation. Jason Dargan in shotgun formation. He's been looking to run every single time, and he does it again. He gets up the middle, and he gets the first down. It gets about 5 yards. Certainly, the Dalton Lions had to be expecting that, and Jason Dargan made it work anyway because he is very, very fast. He comes to the sidelines for a quick play call. There is a flag down, though. Let's see what it's going to be. Referees conferring. As dusk falls here on Winton White Stadium here in Englewood, New Jersey. With 3:08 left, we might just get this one in before we have to turn on the lights. The flag was inadvertent, and so therefore the first down stands for Dwight Englewood. And the conference about the inadvertent flag had the benefit. It didn't really stop. The clock has now started to move, but while the referees were conferring, Dwight Englewood had a chance to go and talk things over a little bit. So now they get the ball 1st and 10 to give up the middle to Aleem James, and he's taken down there after a very short gain. He gets across the 40 to the 39. Gain of 2. Got Ben Broner coming in the game now. Don't see necessarily a hurry-up look from Dwight Englewood. They're going back to huddle up. They're huddling up every time. They're definitely not going to a 2-minute look here, down 18 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to play. And they're only on the 38-yard line so far. The snap to Dargan, the give to Devlin up the middle, and not much doing there. He does get a little positive yardage across the 35 to about 34, but certainly the time ticking away. 2:07 left here, 26-8. The Dalton School comfortably ahead, and it looks like if the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs keep up this pace, no hurry-up look at all. It looks like the Dalton School is going to have no problem holding on to this 18-point lead and walking out of here with a victory. We are under 2 minutes, 1:45 left here. The snap is a low one. Dargan picks it up and runs around to the left-hand side, being chased there by a host of players and tiptoes out of bounds. We'd have to give that tackle to Jack Firestone's brother, Henry. who was the last guy to touch Dargan as he went out of bounds, but that does serve the purpose of stopping the clock.
Gain of 2 yards on the play, and that's good enough for a Bulldog first down.
That'll be a Bulldog first down. Bring some cheers to a home crowd that hasn't had a lot to cheer about here in the second half. 1:36 left, 26-8. We've got a first down and 10. Dwight Englewood trying to rally. Jason Dargan takes a snap, gives the ball to Aleem James. Up the middle, got some room and breaks free. 10-5 touchdown. Aleem James scores the touchdown, 29 yards out. And that will make it a 26-14 game. Now the question is, do you go for one here? Do you go for two? Now again, a 2-point conversion would give them 8. Then they could have a 1-point conversion on their next one to make it 15, and then they could tie with a field goal. Now I'm just thinking ahead. Now that's a pie in the sky scenario to be sure with 1:27 left. I'm just playing the scenarios out for you. Looks like they're going for 2. Jason Dargan working his way up the middle, gets into the end zone, and he's got 2. Well, I was busy up here thinking about scenarios. They were down there doing. They were acting. Dwight Englewood did not hesitate. They went for 2. And so now we've got a 10-point game, 26-16. Dwight Englewood makes this a closer ball game. Certainly it's still going to be very difficult for them to rally here. Missing their starting quarterback, Aaron Haskell. On the sidelines now, at least I see Haskell now with his jersey on, but he is most certainly nowhere near his helmet. He is not, it appears, coming back into the game, but Haskell gives a pat on the shoulder to Jason Dargan, who's come in and led a touchdown drive to bring Dwight Englewood just a bit closer. I think it's the safest bet in the world that we're going to have an onside kick here with 1:27 left. It will be very interesting to see if Dwight Englewood, should they get this onside kick, will they go to more of a hurry-up look? As you're listening to and watching this broadcast on NJ.ORG Varsity's YouTube channel. Dwight Englewood versus the Dalton School. Dalton School came in at 2-2, but they showed a lot of spunk here today, and they've come in and they went out to a commanding 26-8 lead before this latest touchdown by Dwight Englewood brought them to within 26-16. Dwight Englewood 4-1 on the season, in great danger now of going to 4-2 if they're not able to pull off a furious rally here in the last minute and a half of this fourth quarter. 26-16, the Dalton School on top. It will be Martin Lecole, the outstanding kicker. And we're expecting an onside kick. Let's see. And it goes to the left. And it is taken there by number 22 for the Dalton Tigers, and that is Zach Roche. Zach Roche is a 6'3" young man, one of the taller people out there, and that ball really was a good onside kick. It had a nice little bounce to it, but when you're 6'3", he went above everyone else and secured it for the Dalton School Tigers. In retrospect, maybe you want to kick away from him, but you got to kick it somewhere. And you got to give it up to Zach Roche for making a play, which he did. And so now, certainly, the Dalton School's in business. Only one timeout left in this game for Dwight Englewood. As they trail 26-16, they can only stop the clock one more time, which you imagine they will do after Dalton runs their next play. In fact, we have a timeout right now. I didn't hear an official call, but I'm wondering if, well, no, you know what, this cat can't be, because that came right after the kickoff. I don't imagine Englewood took their timeout right there after the kickoff. But again, I have no confirmation on that. We shall see. It's been a fine ball game here in Englewood, New Jersey, on a great day for football, as the Dalton School Tigers, they are up 26-16 with 1:27 left over the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs. Dwight Englewood lost their quarterback, Aaron Haskell, early in the second half. He's really their thrower. He's the guy who really gives them the option of a downfield passing game. And they've got some weapons out there on that passing game with Jason Dargan and Aleem James getting out there, often making good plays in the passing game as well as the running game. So certainly when they lost Aaron Haskell, that was going to be a big problem for them. And it has been a problem, and yet Jason Dargan has come in and done yeoman work. His passing, he hasn't really been experienced passing the ball. They've got a backup quarterback in now. The give is to Casey Schneider, the backup running back. Looks like the backup quarterback for Dalton is Josh Dunst. And he gives the ball off to Casey Schneider. Looks like Coach Roy Samuelson giving some of his backups a little time here with his team up 10 and running out the clock, 1:09 and counting. I believe, I thought I heard a timeout call, but I don't see the clock stopping. Perhaps there was no timeout call. 55 seconds and counting. Again, Dream Henderson's day is done. Josh Dunston at quarterback. Casey Schneider next to him in the backfield. The give to Schneider around the left side. Got a little room, and he runs over a guy and gets an extra yard or two. Casey Schneider has certainly been the definition of a tough guy so far here for the Dalton Tigers. 33 seconds left. 4-yard gain for Schneider, 26-16. It looks all done but the final gun right here as Dalton holds a 10-point lead, 20 seconds left on the clock. They're moving very slowly to get out of that huddle, moving up to the line. It'd be surprising if they even ventured a handoff here with 10 seconds left. And they do hand it off to Schneider, running around the left side. He gets stood up there. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's your ball game. On a fine day for football here in Englewood, New Jersey at Winton White Stadium. The Dalton School Tigers, they came in at 2-2. Hadn't been the season that they want, coming off of a league championship last year, but they came in today and really played a fine ball game. Got some help from the injury bug that afflicted the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs. The Dalton School Tigers, they come out of here with a 26-16 win over Dwight Englewood. The Dalton School, they go to 3-2 on the year. Dwight Englewood, they drop to 4-2. And I looked at the schedule coming into this game. I do not see another game scheduled so far in this season for Dwight Englewood. This could be their final game of their season. They had senior day on this day, introducing their 5 seniors. This very well could be the swan song on the 2014 season for Dwight Englewood, whereas the Dalton School, they have at least one game left. They have a game next week in Connecticut against the team Frohman, one of their old rivals, and they'll go in there with a little bit of momentum. This was a back-and-forth affair in the first half. 3 lead changes. Dalton took the early lead on a touchdown run by Chambers. That would be Jordan Chambers. And then in the second quarter, certainly Dwight Englewood came down the field and got a safety after an ill-advised handoff deep in their own end on a reverse try by the Dalton Tigers, and that play did not work out well for Dalton, and that turned into a safety. They punted the ball away, and then Dwight Englewood was able to take the ball down the field. Aaron Haskell was able to throw a touchdown pass about 12 yards to Jason Dargan. And before the half was out, though, they gave the ball to Jordan Chambers again on the Tigers side of the field, and that was a 65-yard touchdown run. 12-8 was the halftime score. The Tigers went into the halftime locker room with the lead. And then when we came out for the second half, Aaron Haskell had some sort of undisclosed injury. We still haven't found out exactly what happened to him, but Aaron Haskell, the starting quarterback for Dwight Englewood, was not able to play for most of this second half, and that certainly changed the way that Dwight Englewood had to play. They really weren't able to throw the ball. They did not complete a pass after that. They were strictly a wildcat running team at that point, and Jason Dargan came in, the fine wide receiver, and ran that wildcat well. Got lots of positive yardage. And his threat of positive yardage opened up things for Dallas Devlin. He was able to lead the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs on a touchdown drive late in this one, but by that time, Jordan Chambers had scored another touchdown. They'd gotten an extra point, and by that time, you had a 26-8 lead by the Dalton Tigers. The fourth quarter touchdown that Dargan led for Dwight Englewood made it 26-16 after the 2-point conversion again by Dargan. The onside kick in the fourth quarter, it was recovered by Zach Frosch over here in the end, and then the Tigers were able to run out that clock, and they were able to walk out of here with a well-earned 26-16 victory. Again, the Dalton School Tigers, they go to 3-2 on the season with one game left to play against Frohman out of Connecticut. And there are no more games that I see on the schedule for the Dwight Englewood Bulldogs. Their season could very well be over here on Senior Day at Winton White Stadium. And if that's the case, they started out 4-0 on this season, and now they've lost 2 in a row. We thank you for joining us on this broadcast of Northern New Jersey football here on NJ.ORG Varsity's YouTube channel. I'm John Henry Smith. I've certainly enjoyed bringing the action to you. Make sure you keep up with Northern New Jersey sports action on NJ.ORG Varsity, our YouTube page. You can check us out on our Facebook page. You can check us out on Twitter. We've got media and multimedia and all the media covered as we bring you the best of Northern New Jersey sports. I'm John Henry Smith again. The Dalton Tigers, they defeat the Dwight Englewood High School Bulldogs. The final here today at Winton White Stadium. Tigers 26, Bulldogs 16. Have a good evening, everybody.